Hi folks, how you doing? So I'm back with the banana spectrum again. So yeah, I thought we'd continue and we'd try and get a little bit further along with it. So in the last video, we had a look at the board. We got it fired up and working. It's been recapped. Electrically, everything seems okay. So I thought we'd have to look at the rest of the case, which is bent like a banana, and the keyboard, which is just... I mean, that's just ridiculous, the bend in that. So we're going to see if we can straighten that up. Now, I have been working on the top of the case off camera for about a week now. And I've tried a few things. First of all, I waited to see if it had just... Once I removed the keyboard, which I think was causing the bend, to see if it would spring back into shape again. And it didn't. It didn't really move. So for the last week, I've had it submerged in hot water for lengths of time with heavy weights on it to keep it straight. I've had it sitting under a radiator with heavy weights on it to try and straighten it out, and it kind of sprung back a little bit, but not to any fantastic degree. It was still a mess. In the end, I actually got my hot air rework station, and I just heated it gently where it was bent with a little bit of weight on it, and that has moved it, I would say, 90% back into shape. It's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. I think it was getting to the point where I could just get the plastic just soft enough that I could just sort of influence it slightly in the right direction. And it's not completely there. I mean, if I press down on one side, it's still a bit springy on the other. But to where it was, it's considerably straighter. And I think if I go any further with it now, and try and bend it anymore, I'm going to do some damage, because it was getting to the point where I would straighten one corner and it'd throw it out somewhere else. And I think at this point, stop playing with it, because I could actually make it worse. It's never going to be perfect. I have to accept that, but it's better than it was. It's got a crack in it there. That's from where it initially split the case. That has been fused back together now with the heat. But yeah, it was hit that hard, it split the case. Anyway, that's as far as I can go with the top half of the case for now. So let's do something with this keyboard. So my biggest worry with this keyboard, I think, is going to be the membrane itself. Now, the tails look fine. I don't think we're going to have any problems cleaning them up, but there could be damage to the actual membrane itself. If it's been hit that hard that it's bent the metal frame, it could have split the membrane as well. I don't suppose I'll know till I get in there. Other issue I've got is the springs and the keys. Now, they feel okay. They feel a bit grimy, but they don't feel bound up or anything. So I'm hoping there's not been too much damage there, but springs could have rusted, which again could have affected the membrane. I just don't know till I get in there. So I think let's get this back plate off if we can. It's just a case of popping out these little plastic clips gently, because they're going to be a bit brittle with age and abuse. Let's see if we can just get this off in one piece. I'm expecting some broken parts in here, but I just don't know how many. So far, so good. It wants to go. Come on, 3 more to go. Last one. Come on. Oh, don't break on the last one, come on. There it goes. And... okay, I was expecting more rust than that. That's not... I mean, it's filthy, but it's not corroded. Membrane looks okay. Let's see if I can gently remove that. Oh, there's a lot of debris on it. But you'd expect that, and a few rust marks. But I don't think it looks that damaged. Let me get something to clean it up. What can I use? What have I got handy? Nothing. Bear with me. Bear with me. Don't go anywhere. Alright, try a baby wipe. You can never just get one out of the packet, can you? It's like 7 want to come, don't they? Okay, let's just gently Get rid of some of this crud. Ah. Do you know, it actually doesn't look too bad. I can't see any corroded traces. But I guess I won't know till I actually physically plug it in and test it. So I'll do that in a little bit, I think. But hopefully that's survived. They are pretty hardy, these. They do seem to last pretty well. But then this has been through a lot, so who can really tell? I mean, I'll have to check it. I'll have to check all the keys as well, functioning. If they don't and this is faulty, then, well, I've got problems because I don't think replacements for these are readily available. So I'll have to come up with a new solution for the keyboard, but hopefully it's okay. I guess time will tell. Anyway, I want to get on with this, which isn't looking too clever. In fact, let's have a close-up. The majority of it looks okay, but there's the odd rusty spring, but not so bad that I don't think I couldn't clean them up. I think I'm going to need to just strip it down and have a proper look. It's still got a bend in it, but I'm hoping if I can straighten up the back plate, that'll pull this piece flat. But we'll see. It's feels like it's actually starting to go back into shape on its own, actually, of its own accord, but we'll see. Let's get the keyboard stripped down anyway. Let's get it done. Pretty straightforward to pop out. I never use key pullers on these keys. All I do is I get them from the other side and I just push the two locking tabs in. I find it's a much safer way of removing the keys. Just like that. And then you can recover the key and the spring from the other side. That looks a little corroded, but again, you know what? A little soak in vinegar might just bring those back around, so I'm not too worried. Anyway, let's speed this up a little bit, shall we? Oh, my fingers feel disgusting and dirty and oh god. Right, anyway, stripped down. So that's the plastic part of the keyboard that holds the keys in place, and it's bent, as you'd expect. It's probably been crooked for a long time. I'm not too worried about that because I might be able to straighten that out in a similar way that I did to the case, just a little bit, and take the tension off. But if this doesn't go completely flat, then the back plate will pull it flat, provided I can get the back plate flat. That's, oh, look at the mess. Anyway, yeah, that's really bent. That is not going to bend back. What I'm going to have to do with that is I'm going to have to take it outside and put it on the edge of a flagstone and hit it with a hammer and beat it back into submission, I think. Because simply bending that is not going to work. There's way too much of a bend in it. What else? In terms of the springs, most of them are fine. There's the odd one or two that is pretty heavily corroded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in an ultrasonic bath with some really nasty chemicals I use for cleaning watch parts. And that should eat up all the rust, I'm hoping. It's worth noting, actually, the springs for the spacebar and the enter key are different to the rest, so if you take one of these apart, just keep them separate. It probably wouldn't make a whole lot of difference, but there you go. Plastic keys are plastic keys. They seem in pretty good condition. Generally the springs are in pretty good condition as well, so I'll just put them through the ultrasonic cleaner with a bit of detergent. hopefully they'll come up all right. But yeah, I think next job, hammer that flat, and I'll see what I can do from there. I'll bring you back when I've done that. Ah, that's better. It's a bit straighter. Hopefully it'll stay like that. But we'll see. Anyway, moving on. Let's get these keys cleaned up, I think. And yeah, I'm all in favour of doing things the quick and easy way. So I've got my ultrasonic cleaner. I've got a bit of detergent in there. And we'll start running these keys through, I think. So, see how many we can get in one go. Probably take 3 lots to do all of them. And the first clean these have probably had in 30 years, if indeed ever. Do you know what? I don't need to load it up. Let's just call it that. Let that cook for a little bit, and then we'll put the next batch in. Oh, that is some grimy looking soup there off them keys. Key soup, if you like. Vile. Glad to be rid of it. Well, that went back into shape a lot easier than I thought it was going to. Yeah. Bit of hot water, a sink, and a heavy object, and yeah, it seems to have gone flat, so it's fine. Anyway, got a pile of nice clean parts that have all been washed, so I suppose I can reassemble this keyboard. This backplate, it seems pretty straight now, and I have given it a clean, but it is quite stained. I did think about painting it, but I'd rather not, because if it causes the membrane to stick, it could do damage, so I think we just leave it as it is, and if it looks a bit grim, well, it's inside the computer, so who cares. Anyway, let's get the keyboard back together. Let's get the keys on that require the stabiliser bars first, I think. So we'll start with the spacebar, which has its own unique spring, if I can find it. Yeah. That'll be that one. I have tried to de-rust these. I did have them sitting in some, it was actually watch cleaning fluid, which seemed to turn the rust black, and it seems to have flaked off a bit, so it's helped a little bit, but vinegar probably would have been better. Okay, let's get the stabiliser bar in. Keys in, all good, and they're working a lot smoother now as well. It's amazing what clean can do, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's get the membrane back in, which goes that way. Fingers crossed the membrane's okay, and let's get this back plate back on. Hopefully it'll be a bit straighter now. Make sure I've got that the right way. I think I have. Try and refit this after I've hammered it back into shape. Just hope everything lines up still. Seems to so far. I think that's got it. So that last clip to go. There we go. That's got it. Okay. I suppose we can test it now. It's a bit straighter. It's not. Yeah, I'd say that's a lot better actually. It's not rocking around again anymore. I wouldn't say I've got it 100%, but I'd say that's pretty good. Yeah, I'd say that's a lot better. Nice flat keyboard to go into my not so flat case. So before I put anything back into the case, I want to see if I can clean the case up just a little bit more. So it's still a little bit out of shape. There's very little I can do about that. But the marks and the scratches and the discoloration I might be able to help with. So I've got some of this. It's just car black wax for plastic trim. I've got that. I've got an old toothbrush. And I thought I'll just have a go with it with this. But before I do any of that, you'll notice on the underneath of this that the feet are missing. Now, you can buy the feet. And I was tempted to do that, but to be honest, I don't want to throw a whole load of money into this machine. So what I have got is a roll of sticky rubber, which is the exact same size that you would use for a Spectrum 128 rubber keyed. It's the same width, same depth. It's not really meant for this, but I'm thinking of just putting a couple of strips down the back of the case, and that'll do for feet. It'll just stop it sliding around the desk. That's all I'm really interested in. Yeah, it's not the original way it should be fitted, but I mean, who cares, you know? It'll be good enough for me. So I just cut a length of this self-adhesive rubber tape. In fact, I'll cut 2 lengths. There we go, that's one. There we go. It's good enough for me. We're not going for perfection. If we are going for perfection, I'm using the wrong machine. Okay, let's just put that to one side. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's have a go at this top case, and let's just see if we can't clean it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave that to sit for a little bit, and then I'll buff it off, and I'll do the same with the bottom half of the case as well, and I'll bring you back when that's been done. There we go. It's better, I think. I think it's dulled out all the marks, the imperfections. Anyway, it's starting to look a little bit more like it should. But I tell you what, that black wax stuff, that's messy stuff. That really is. Anyway, I've already put the board back in the bottom case, so that's good to go. Oh, and my little capacitor's turned up as well. So I think I said, was it in the last video, I said I was missing a decoupling capacitor. That's turned up, so I've soldered that in as well. Let's get the keyboard in. So, now that it's all back together, and I wouldn't say it's perfect, but it's a lot straighter than it was. Hopefully it'll look a lot better in the case. Let's see. Right, I've been trying to get this in straight to bolt it into the case, and then this is what highlights, now that the keyboard's straight, the case isn't. I mean, it's better than it was, but it's about as good as it gets, sort of like that. I'm thinking when I bolt the keyboard down, yeah, like that, it'll sort of pull itself straight. I'm hoping. But let me just get a few screws in and let's just see if we can do it. Now, there are 6 places for screws, but I only need 4 screws because 2 of the case screws are also used. So, I need to make sure I put the right ones in. I think that is a case screw. That, I need to put one in. Let me just find one. Let's put it in loosely for now, just so I can start lining things up. That might be a case screw, that isn't. I think. That'll be... Is that a case screw? No, neither of those are actually, so... That one... That wasn't only just. I think the post has actually moved with the case being twisted. This might be the same. Now I'm hoping that the keyboard will pull the case straight, but we'll see. How's that looking? Not bad, not bad. It's a bit low at this side, but I think when the case screws in, yeah, that'll pop back into shape. So, as long as I've got this, yeah, that's right. Let's connect up the tails. Let's put a couple of case screws in it as well, so everything pulls straight and true, and then will give us a good idea of what to expect. Okay, that's you. That's you. Case doesn't want to sit straight. It's going to need a couple of screws in it. See, it's popping up at that end. This is one bent computer. What can you do? Let me put screw in here, I think. Assuming everything still lines up. That's gone in. Another one. Let's put another two in here, actually. I will get some new screws because these are absolutely beyond saving. Rusty as anything. But for right here, right now, just so I can square the case up a little bit. Give us an idea of what we're playing with. That's not bad, actually. That's looking okay. Keyboard looks nice and straight. The edge, it's not completely perfect, but compared to what we did have originally, I'd say that's a win. It's not got the same buckle to it. It's a lot better. Let me just get in a bit closer with the camera. So there we are, with a bit of black wax on it, a straightened keyboard. I think that's an improvement. Well, it's definitely an improvement. It doesn't look as crooked as it did. The case isn't perfect, but it's not going to be, is it? Question is, does the keyboard work? I don't know. Let's find out. Right, plugged in, powered on, and we're at the startup screen. Will she focus? Yes. Okay, and from what I can tell, the keyboard seems to be responding. I'll have to go through and check every key. But yeah, in fact, do you know what? There's a quicker way of doing this. If I can remember how to do it. If you hit reset on these and then hold down the break key, that'll put the test card. But with the +2A and +3, if you then hold down, I think it's QAZ PLNM. Is that going to work? Apparently not. Let's try that again. There we go. It goes into a diagnostic mode that's built in. So what's it telling me? Blah, 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 blah. Connect the loopback connector, which I don't have. Press enter if the colour is okay. Take care, these tests corrupt discs and require factory test equipment. You have been warned. Well, I don't have any factory test equipment, but I don't have any discs either, so I'm not going to worry too much. So we'll go through a few checks now anyway. So what have we got? Doing a RAM test, presumably. Okay. Did I hear the sound? Unfortunately, yes I did. Symbol shift A for 1 second. Ah, that's what I wanted, a keyboard test. Okay. If I just zip through these quickly. Ooh. Seems I have a few dead keys. In fact, that's not responding at all to keys that I know work. Oh, you've got to do them in order, that's why. I thought the keys had all died. No, it's that pedantic, it makes you check them in order. You can't just randomly press them, for goodness sake. Well, that's a relief. I thought I had a problem then. So far so good then. Okay, so all the keys are good. Did I hear the tone? Yes, I did. Ah, joysticks. Right, let me fish a joystick out. I did need to test that port anyway, so now's as good a time as any. Okay, I do have a genuine Sinclair joystick. Bit of a dodgy silhouette. Anyway, let me just plug that in to joystick port 1, which is the bent one, if I remember correctly. If you've seen my other video, you know what I'm talking about. So, what have we got? So that one's fine. Let's try joystick port 2. It's all good. Cassette output test. Well, I can't really help that, but I heard the noise. Screen switching test passed. That's good. Yeah, I can't really test the printer signal for obvious reasons either. I suppose this is where you need the test loop, isn't it? Make sure the printer is ready. Cue to quit printing. Let's quit. Let's just assume it worked. No integral disk test, no disk interface. Yeah, no kidding. Okay. Disk drive test failed. Well, it will. Let's cue for quit. Yeah. This will come in handy as and when I get the tape deck sorted for setting up tuning the azimuth on the tape deck, but can't do it now, so let's just skip it. Test failed because disk tests failed, printer busy test failed, RS-232 test failed. Well, it will do because I wasn't testing any of those things, but yeah. My main concern is, does the keyboard work? And it seems to. Excellent. I can reset that now. Well, there we go. That works. I wouldn't mind checking that audio mod I made, you know, for the external tape deck. So I'll just get set up with that. Get a cassette deck if I can find one. That one will do. And we'll just see if I can load something in from an external source. You never know. It might even work. I have no idea what Ninja Commando's like, but let's find out if it even works. Well, picture's flashing, so let's see. Let's see if it picks up a signal. Oh, likes that. I mean, the tape's probably no good actually, but the signal got through. Let me try something else. A lot of my tape seems to have really degraded. Let's find something I know works. This is a silly little game, but give it a go. I don't think this is the best tape deck, to be honest. It's not having it. Let me try another tape deck. It's probably that. I mean, the signal's clearly getting through. So, I don't know. Okay, got the Acorn tape deck. Let's see if that's any better. Ah, finally. Yeah, that loaded. Excellent. Perfect. So the audio mod is fine. Well, there you go. All in all, I think that's fairly successful. It's back in its case. Everything seems to work as it's supposed to. The keyboard is fine. It's not crooked anymore. The case, I mean, it's not brilliantly straight, but it's not bad either. I think it looks perfectly respectable and presentable now. So we're almost there. I think from what we started with, it's looking pretty good. We do, of course, have one glaring issue. So I've been trying to find a second-hand tape mechanism online, and there doesn't seem to be any, but if one turns up and the person who's selling it isn't asking ridiculous money for something, then I'll have a pop at it. But otherwise, I may have a go at the mechanism that came out of it. It's not great. It is seized up at the bottom. It's definitely going to need a belt. It's probably going to need a new capstan. I think that's probably knackered as well. It looks perished. The problem I've got, and I've been having a little bit of a look at it, is everything's held together with circlips. Now, some of them will pop out and can be reused, and some of them you just can't. So I think what I might do is I'm going to strip this down as far as I can, which will hopefully give me enough room to clean the parts that I can't remove. And if I can clean and lubricate enough of it and get it back together, there's a possibility that it might work. There's also a possibility that it'll end up in a million pieces and it's never going to go back together again, which is probably more likely. But if it's not working anyway, I don't think I've got anything to lose. And this is the last bit of it. If I can get this done, then we've got a fully working machine again. I've got nothing to lose, so I'll have a crack at it. What the hell, unless another one turns up. I know these mechanisms were used in other tape decks. I'm just struggling to find where exactly, because if I can buy another tape deck with the same mechanism, that would be an easier fix as well. Yeah. We'll see. That'll be a video on itself. I'm not going to start that now. In fact, it's going to be a few weeks before I even get the opportunity to do anything retro. I'm going to be very, very busy for the next few weeks, so you won't see any videos at all, I wouldn't have thought, for a while. But anyway, yes, that'll be the next job. Sort the tape deck out either with this, or more likely it's going to be a different mechanism. Or, I don't know, maybe I can put something else here. I know a couple of you suggested shortening the case, and I think that's a really good idea. But I don't trust myself not to make a complete hash of it, so I'm probably not going to do that. I do like the idea of it, though. I could put something completely different here. I could put some, I don't know, some MP3 player in or something, maybe, and just so I can load the audio files that way. Maybe that's another alternative. I don't know. I'd like to get the tape deck working, but we can only do what we can do. Anyway, I think I'm going to call this video here. I think we've made a lot of progress. It's not perfect, but I think it looks quite respectable now. It seems to function correctly, so I'm pleased with it. I didn't think I'd get this far with it. I thought it'd give me more of a challenge than it has done. It's not really put up that much of a fight, if I'm honest, so far. So yeah, thanks for watching as always. and hopefully I'll see you on the next one, whenever that may be. It might be a while, so take care of yourself. Have a good new year. Don't forget to vacuum behind the couch, and I'll see you soon. Bye.